Assalamualaikum everyone. This is Dr. Miral Khalil, and today I am here to tell you something awesome that I have been preparing for the past few months. For people who don't know me, I am investor in the United States stock market for the past decade, and recently, not so recently, for the past 5 years, I have been investing in the United States farmland, and the reason being it was a no brainer, but I was not an accredited investor, and they needed accredited investors to be investing in the United States farmland. So, before we begin, I wanted to give you a brief overlook of why you should be investing in US farmland, and moreover, why you should be investing in this workshop. The US farmland is prime real estate. It grows, it appreciates its value over time, and it is not only used by human beings, it's used for as a fodder for farm animals. It's also used as a biofuel. And so let's move to a couple of things that I would like to tell you. Farmland investing, and why should you invest time and money learning about farmland investing? The number one reason is that farmland investing, like I told you, is available to everyone right now and has a higher return on investment than any traditional retirement investment fund at 11.5%. Any investment accounts across the board, like 401ks and IRAs and traditional IRAs, have a traditionally return on investment of 8%, which is adjusted for inflation. US farmland has a return of investment at 11.5%. Why did I choose to do this workshop for the first time this year, and why should you be buying this? Is that I have professionally consulted with Muslim families for the past few years. People who have been with me are going to jump on this opportunity, and I wanted to open it to the general public, people who have never invested, who don't understand the importance of investment. This is a real good chance to get your money recession proof, save your money from being depreciated because of inflation. How can you participate this year? Buy this workshop, attend this workshop, and see all the benefits. This year, farmland REITs have leveled the playing field, which means that even if you are a low income family, if you do not have the tax returns, if you do not qualify for being a traditional accredited investor, farmland REITs, which are publicly traded companies that buy and sell farmlands, you can buy a share of a farmland for less than $100. Okay. And so it couldn't be more accessible at this point. So this is like a really good time for you to jump into the market and take a piece of the pie, really. Farmland is not volatile like the market because we have to eat. This is a common denominator in human beings. We need to eat. Farmland is not affected by the volatility of the market or, politics or anything, because regardless of whatever happens, people need to eat. Animals need to eat, energy needs to be produced, and it's a form of alternative energy like biofuel. Another good point is that passive investment and third party management. You are not actively managing the farmland, you are not farming, you are not renting it to farmers. There's a third party LLC. There's not just one person who you're giving money to and they're buying it on your behalf. There's like a full-fledged company, full-fledged corporation, which is also hiring experts to run the fields for you. So you do not have to do anything. It's the best form of investment. It's lazy investment. In all other kinds of real estate investment, you have to be actively involved. You have to maintain the real estate, you have to maintain your rental property. Even if it's an Airbnb or if it's a regular renter, you are subject to so many laws and so many regulations. But here you are just giving you a part of your wealth, and it's going to grow for you. And these third parties are really big companies who have 200 $300 million of investments, and so they have their skin in the game, and so it's a pretty safe investment. The property is completely bought, and hence there's no ambiguity. The income is halal, it's completely bought off. Multiple investors like us invest in a parcel of land and we completely buy it. So there is no question of if it's halal or haram. Now, you don't need to buy a property that is growing opium or poppy or tobacco. There are other crops like soy and corn and, nuts and citrus fruits. So you have options, and you can choose whatever farm you want, where you want it, and what the property is growing. And another great thing is that crop sharing is not the only source of income. So crops which are sold is primarily how you get the cash yield every year. But rental income also exists, and there are other forms of income that come depending on property. So you can choose a property which can give you multiple streams of income, and it can, at the end of the day, increase your yearly cash yield. And then, while we're on the subject of cash yield, farmland investing gives you a yearly cash yield. And then, because you are investing in prime real estate, the return on investment is three times or more. So for example, if I invest $5,000, that's just an example, in a couple of years the property is going to appreciate, and I'm going to always end up having more or less $15,000 back. Now, if you choose not to spend this money, even this low share you want to buy, the money, the $5,000 that I have in the bank, is going to depreciate because of inflation. And so you have to invest it. And I think farmland investing is the safest investment, because remember, I told you it's not volatile like the market. And hold times of the property can be less than 5 to 10 years. So I have held properties that I initially signed off that they're not going to sell it until 5 to 10 years, but they ended up selling them in 4 years because there was another investor, another company who saw potential, and they were ready to pay the price of the property earlier. So they either wanted to build a, big companies buy these farmlands if they see potential in them. So even though you're signing off on something like it says it's going to be 5 to 10 years, ultimately you could get a quicker return. And that is most likely the case. So they will not hold the property for 5 to 10 years. Once they hit their goal, they are going to sell it and you can get a quick return. Like I said, your money is going to depreciate. Farmland investing helps it appreciate. It's one of those investments in which money increases, and so it's safe for me because everybody needs food. And regardless of whatever is happening, until and unless the humankind, completely goes away, farmlands are going to be the best and the first investment everybody should be looking into. The last thing is, I do this workshop once a year and I bring you up to speed with all the yearly trends. I only do these workshop once a year because I call a subject matter expert, and they are really jam packed. They're a very small group, so I pay attention to every single person that is attending. That is why I cap them at 10 people per session, because I feel that it is fair to people who are attending to get all of my attention and all of their questions answered. And so these sell out very, very quickly, especially because people who have worked with me know that I go all in. And so I wanted to give you a chance to bet on yourself, invest in yourself, be a hero in your story. I can guide you. I can give you everything. You're going to get a PDF that is going to walk you through all the terminology, everything that you need to look in for an investment. And why do I give it to you? Because I like to teach you how to fish. You can use that PDF for all other investment opportunities that come your way. So you won't need this again and again. I save you a ton of time. I have done all the homework because I am an active investor myself. I'm not just giving you financial advice. I am dedicated to building and creating generational wealth for my kids. So I am giving you everything that I know holds to be true, and I filter it from the lens of being a Muslim, because there are lots of things that you have to look into when you are making an investment. And the number one is that, is it aligning with your faith? It should be aligning with your faith. So let's go to the next slide. Why should you put your money in farmland? Biofuel, fuel for livestock. The land appreciates. It's prime real estate, a yearly cash yield, a source of income. All other investment accounts, you cannot touch them until you're 59 and a half. This is the unique aspect of a farmland, that it gives you a yearly return without active management. Please understand, people who are in real estate are going to tell, or will tell you, managing an active rental property is a very big headache, is a very big expense, needs a crew. But farmland investing is like a specialty. They have their experts, they're doing all the heavy lifting for you, and you're going to get a cash yield. Once we go through the workshop, you'll see how to choose a farmland. If you choose it carefully, if you look at the guide that I'm going to provide you, which you're going to get immediately after you pay, so you can compare notes. If you follow and if you do the work like I will tell you, you're also going to have access to the workshop for life, so you can go back and replay and rewatch the workshop. And so if you do the homework, I promise you this is going to be the best $200 you have spent, period. So let's go. This is what the things that we're going to be discussing in the workshop. I'm going to teach you the terminology. I'm going to teach you how to get started. I will teach you how to fund your investment. Remember, it's accessible to everyone. I would not be doing this workshop if it was accessible to a few people. Now we are in an economy where you can invest regardless of your income status. This was not the case a couple of years ago when I started investing, when they needed an accredited investor only. I will teach you to look for water rights. It's very important. The types of crops. I will surprise you. You haven't thought about them. Choosing your broker, the investment types. Is it recession proof? We will go in depth about how it's recession proof, this investment in a farmland. What's the yearly cash yield looking like? What should you be focusing on? What is the sale value? And then we will have a Q&A, and I'm hoping to get a guest expert. She manages one of the biggest farmland investing platform called Acre Trader, and so you will be hearing from her too, inshallah. And so how do you connect with me? This is my information. You can email me at investforlifemk@gmail.com. You can call me, but I would rather if you would email me. You can also speak to me before you jump into this workshop. You can always speak to me. I have my calendar open. If you would like to speak to me for 15 minutes about getting more clarity about what you can get out of this workshop, there will be a link in the workshop page, which I will send you. And so thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. I hope to see you. It's a limited time offer. It's going to expire on Wednesday because the workshop is going to be held on Friday and Saturday. I hope to see you soon. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.